Hey guys, it's been a while and I'm sorry that I haven't put out videos in a few weeks. The car shortage is even worse. We're having a hard time just keeping used cars on the lot. I'd say the used car lot probably has about 12 cars, somewhere around that. And new car inventory is one or two, which when we get one or two on the lot, they're gone before the next day. And everything else is selling before it gets here, which is tough to film because when they get here, they're gone within 24 to 48 hours. And you can't blame people for being a little particular about, not wanting their customer's car to be used for a video, or even customers that don't want anybody touching their car, before they take it home, which is understandable when you're spending the money. But today we have a 2022 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid XLE Premium that I'm sitting in right now. And I wanted to do a video on this car for a while because when you're already spending the XLE money, for a little bit more, you get a whole different car. So we're gonna break down this car. I'll start with the outside. We'll see, what's different between this and the XLE, which, by the way, the XLE is probably the most popular RAV4 out there. And then we're gonna go inside, we're gonna drive it and conclude the video. And then after that, there will be an additional video about all the technology and the features. So let's begin. So there's a big gripe with the RAV4 lately because the XLE, which was the top selling RAV4 and still is, especially the hybrid version, people really liked the XLE because the fog lights were standard. But now, in order to get those fog lights standard, you have to go to the XLE Premium. And today we're looking at the 2022 XLE Premium in the hybrid variant. There are some noticeable differences that you're going to see at every angle, especially on the inside, if you're very familiar with Toyotas, but we'll go over those. The RAV4 is a very legendary car, and it's been a staple in the Toyota family for a long time. It's good at doing everything. It's not great at one thing. It's very easy to drive. It's easy to park, and people of all walks of life enjoy this car. In the high 20s to low 30s, you can get the entry-level gas, depending on where you buy it. But with this XLE Hybrid Premium, you're still just under 40, so you still have a 3, before taxes, in front of the price of the car. This one's at 39 and change. Getting something with lots of options before you enter the 40s and start talking about limited or even the prime. And like I mentioned just before, we're going to start with the exterior of the car. We'll work our way inside. We'll talk about the way it drives, and then there'll be a tutorial video. So let's begin. My favorite place to begin is the front of the car. So a direct frontal view. The big change to the RAV4 this year in the front is the headlights. So instead of that wide open reflector that kind of looks like a ghost when the headlights are off, we have a divided headlight with an LED strip at the XLE level and up, with a projector beam that sits a little bit lower, shooting a super bright LED really far down the road, which is great for the visibility. And like I mentioned about the fog lights, when you get XLE Premium, you now have the standard fog lights, which are also going to be LED. And this is nice because historically, even if you got the LED headlights on the RAV4, they would still give you the yellow incandescent lights, which didn't really match. But now you have the super bright light on everything, which is really nice, not only for looks, but for visibility. It still has the same face though. It has the mean look. Lots of airflow here, and it's a non-painted, almost like a sparkly dark gray. Not quite like the Tacomas, but you get plenty of airflow here, and even more down below. From the side on the front here, it is a stubby face. I call this kind of like the shark nose. It's a very blunt nose, it's very flat, but the car's still pretty aerodynamic when you pull back. And since we pulled back, you see this generation of RAV4 has a lot of sharp lines. So you have these cuts, it's very chiseled, everything is going in one direction, which inspires a little bit of a speedy look. But like I've mentioned in other RAV4 videos, and pretty much all Toyota videos, that off-road heritage that Toyota has and pretty much has always had still pops out because you have the non-painted black lip here in the front. which follows through on the fender liner and down below to the side skirts. So when you're kicking up rocks, you know, gravel, twigs and stuff like that, when you're going kayaking or you're hitting some hiking trails and you're going in a, you know, parking area with a lot of rocks, that's not going to be a painted gloss black finish like on your XSE Prime or some of your other hybrids. But the wheels is the big thing that I noticed right away compared to the XLE. You have a much sharper chiseled looking wheel, which is bigger. These are going to be 18-inch wheels, and they have this mean color to them. It's a dark chrome. I'm going to try to get the angle right here. I think the color of these wheels are gorgeous, and this is new for this year. It's not really a low profile tire, but they're big enough so that you have that sporty look and some nice stability on the highway if you're a commuter and you're going at high, you know, highway speeds. This one is the Midnight Black Metallic, which the camera won't do justice. Don't mind the watermarks, but this paint actually has little flecks of green, silver, and blue to give it almost like an outer space look when you get close. But from far away, it just looks like a shiny, nice black car. Onto the door trim here by the windows. They did black instead of chrome on the bottom, but chrome up top. And I really like that the chrome is only on the top because I don't know, it just gives it that little touch of chrome without giving you a full milk mustache border here. The small things like that I notice and I appreciate. The mirror is going to be color matching as well, which folds very easily. So that's nice. It's not an electronic mechanism. One less thing to break though. Not standard, but on a lot of Toyotas lately are your body side moldings, which actually serve a purpose for when other people's doors open up, or like you have the grocery cart, it should theoretically hit this surface first. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, but this does help. But not only that, it kind of adds some linear design to the side of the car, which is nice. This one doesn't have, but some of them will have the door edge guards here that protect the edges of the doors. Down to the back of the car, those sharp lines and chiseled edges show themselves again. None of this bodywork has changed for 2022, and it's not really much difference at all depending if you get the XLE or the XLE Premium or the LE. The taillights are going to be the same. It's a nice bright LED bar here. The little wiper is right over here. Some people talk about how they preferred for it to be up tucked in the wing. Me personally, I don't mind that it's down there. But yeah, I think it would have a little bit of a cleaner look if it was up top. And all the RAV4s have your wing in the back. I call it the little duck bill. So that's right over here, and this is all going to be painted black over here, no matter what color that you got. And then this will be black no matter what color you got as well. Of course, these would be the painted colors, say you got red or blue or silver. This section here will also be black no matter what paint color you get. I call it the Lexus Mascara. With dual exhaust on the hybrid, gives it that nice sporty look. Let me show you what the black looks like in indirect lighting. The wheels do it for me. I'm a wheels guy. The Highlander XLE has those wheels that I call the flower pedals. I'm not a big fan of those. Some people really like those, but these are the wheels that I really like a lot. But we all have those things that drive us crazy. You know, some people don't really care about the wheels. I'm a wheels guy. I think wheels really pull the look together. It's kind of like a nice pair of shoes. You know, I also enjoy watches. Some people don't really care about that stuff. But the little things in life, if you like wheels, the XLE Premium really brings the wheels to the table. Let's pop the hood and see what's under the hood, giving this car the power. Under the hood of this RAV4, and all of the Toyota RAV4s, we have the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder with a combined net horsepower of 219. Of course, that's excluding the Prime, which has the upgraded technology and battery to give you even more power. But if you get any RAV4 hybrid that's not a Prime, this is what we're working with. And if you're not very familiar with mechanical stuff, it is a simple design, which I won't break down too much for you, but it's very easy to check my oil when I do my oil change, or I go to the service center. It's very easy to do maintenance. The fuses are right there. You can check your fluids at the house very easily. My intake air filter is here, and I have some more fuses there. I can check my brake fluid very easily. So you can check a lot of things at home to keep this car running great for many years. This is the A25A. Oh, just turned on. The A25A FXS, 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. And what makes the hybrid different than the gas model, which make sure you check out my Crash Course Hybrids video, is that you have a different driveline than the gas model. So on the gas models, you have the differential here. Or sorry, you have your drive shaft, which is going to connect the axles in the front to the axles in the back mechanically. With the hybrid, there's no mechanical connection. You have your little electric motor here. There's a big battery for the hybrid system under the back seats. Then you have the same engine, but you have a separate electric motor over here. So these front and back axles are actually communicating electronically, which means less moving parts, less wear and tear. And with the intelligent all-wheel drive system, it's going to be mainly front-wheel drive, and it's going to kick in those back wheels when it determines that it needs them. So that's going to save you wear and tear, it's going to save you on the maintenance, and increase the longevity of this car. But that's enough about the engine and powertrain. Let me close the hood, and we will get inside the car and talk about some of the technology and comfort. And of course, it comes with Toyota Safety Sense 2.0, so there is a radar device in the front. There's a camera right on the top of the windshield there, and all the new Toyotas can sense what's in front of them while you're driving. So you have automatic high beams that know when to go up and down automatically. You also have the lane departure alert, which the car will know when you're going over your lane, with steering assist, so it'll actually steer you back in your lane a little bit. You have the adaptive cruise control, which is going to slow down and speed up to match vehicle speed, with 3 different following distances. And the best of the best, the pre-collision system. So if you're about to hit something or somebody, because it has pedestrian detection, it's going to sense it, alert you on the screen, and if you don't react, it brakes for you. It's not something you can test on the road, but it is great to have, and you can change all the sensitivities to these features, and you can turn some of them off if you don't like them. Of course, with the 2.0 version of the Safety Sense, you also have the road sign assist, which on the MID, the small screen by the speedometer, it'll show you some of the road signs. But that's enough of the outside and the exterior tech. Let's start with the back of the car and talk about the cargo space. Sorry about this. This is just some of the plastic that comes from the factory. Nice low shelf here. Comes right above my knee. I have a little cubby over here with a 12-volt plug, and we've upgraded to the LED light. When you have a tonneau cover, it's just a quick pull and clip. And to remove, you can remove from either side. There's a spring-loaded head you just pull on and it comes right down. I can fold the seats from the back, or I can lift up this lever and they can fold down just like that. When they're clipped in, I can pull this up to recline it a little bit more. 37 cubic feet is what you get with the seats up. Well, just above 37 cubic feet. It's 69 cubic feet when you fold the seats down. Which, just to give you a quick view, I could probably run some snowboards if they go through the middle of the seats. And when you put the seat up, there is this little red thermometer here that will let you know if the seat has not been clipped in all the way. So it's warning you because it could do this in the event of a crash. So you want to make sure you give it a push and that thermometer goes away. But speaking of the back seats, I'm going to close the hatch and jump in and talk to you about how I feel about the space and style of the back of this car. I love the door sill protector here with the metal and plastic that's offered on this car. Small detail. But what I love more than that on this car is the rear ventilation. Now, as a Tacoma owner, I have a 2021. I don't have this ventilation in the back. But since it's a pretty hot day today, we're approaching 90, this cool air that I can aim right to me is a godsend gift. And on the last generation RAV4, if you didn't have that rear ventilation, you had to push a little button up on the dash and there would be a vent up here that would shoot air through the middle, but it wasn't this. So it's so nice to have this. We moved to 2 USB-Cs now, which charge faster and are smaller and easier to plug in, which is nice. The weather mat in the back is always one piece if you get it from Toyota, which is great because it protects the carpet in the center. And there's only storage behind the passenger seat, not the driver. I'm not often in the back of a car and I don't usually bring things that go in here, but I don't know, let me know what you think. Is that a big deal? The seats are very comfortable. I will say they're more comfortable than the LE. On this car, you'll enjoy a nice, stylish, grayed, looks white on camera, but it is a gray. It's almost like a silvery gray stitching. It's double stitching 4 times with black stitching in here, and then you have a single stitch of gray over here. And since the seats recline, I'm very comfortable with a hovering armrest, which fits in just about the right spot for most people. Moving on to me, with my seat reclined, my shoulder is just about in line with this, so when I put my head back, I feel secure, I feel safe and protected. I don't feel as exposed like in a Forester where the window line is a little bit lower, which some people do enjoy those huge windows in the Forester, but I kind of like the privacy without being claustrophobic. And with this very nicely sized back window here that has the privacy glass, not only can I see, but I also have the privacy too. So that's very nice. I would enjoy a trip in the back of a RAV4, and with these upgraded plush seats, which is Toyota Softex material, I could do it for hours. Another small detail I enjoy on this car, which you'll see in the front as well, is the non-chromed. This looks like a brushed, well not brushed, but like a sparkly silver instead of bright chrome. I like that because it's not going to shoot the sunlight in my eyes, and they do it on the door handle as well. See, so when the sun hits it, it's not blinding. These small things I really appreciate. And they didn't do the lock in silver, which I feel like if the lock was silver, it would just look too cheap. They kept that black, but they did the important part in the silver color, so you can identify where the handle is very quickly. And then you have the window switch here. They're auto up and down all around, and you'll get a little blue light here at nighttime, which is nice. But on the door handle, you have these ribs, which just give you that confident, secure feel. The door handle is great. It's just, I don't feel like my hand is gonna slip. I feel like I have a nice, confident grip. Small detail, but something that I enjoy. A rubberized finish here would have been a little bit better. This is a hard plastic, but to me, that's not a big deal. When the door is locked, it does not bypass the lock like the front doors do. You have to manually do this. I suspect that that's Toyota's way of adding in a little protection from kids that might accidentally grab this like that. But if you don't want them to be able to do this, of course you have the child lock right over here. So when you push this down, they won't be able to get out even if this is unlocked. You'll have to open it from the outside, which I'm not going to do to myself. Visibility when I'm in the sitting position reclined is here. If I sit up a little more is here. There's no way around it. The headrest is in my face, but I can look to the side a little bit and I have plenty of visibility. If I look to the side a little bit here, I have plenty of visibility here as well. I don't feel claustrophobic in this car at all. And looking to the side, even though you have the slightly smaller windows compared to some of the competition for style purposes, I do not get that claustrophobic sensation in the back, which is very nice. But I think that's enough time in the back. Let's jump into the Copilot seat and see what it looks like up there. And here's what it looks like entering the cockpit on the Copilot side. Even bigger dorsal protector here that says RAV4. Beautiful. Storage on the doors, I'd rate a B, maybe a B+. The pockets are pretty deep, good for a bottle. And I didn't show you on the back. On the back, you only get one bottle holder here. Maybe you can fit a clutch in there, but you can't pack a ton of stuff. It's doable. Let me get inside so I can cool off. Toyota changed the letters on the mats from gray to black, adding a little bit of a sporty effect and reducing that used, worn down look that those silver letters would get. They get dirty very fast. And unless you're always using a baby wipe to keep those gray letters clean, the black will take the beating much better. Amazing visibility, which is what people want and expect. Below, a harder plastic, like on most cars. The same sparkly silver that doesn't blind you, with a continuity on the design for the handle. A little bit of a softer plush material here, definitely not luxury like a Lexus, but acceptable. I would rate it good. Back to a harder plastic, and then a slightly less hard plastic here. Not a whole big difference though. Not a squishy feel like on some of the fully loaded Corolla XSEs. Like this. This is nice. Would be nice to have that here, but I'm not too concerned, but I do enjoy this. And it is a soft material here, which I love, because when you put your sunglasses here real quick, or you put a pair of binoculars, or you put your wallet or your clutch here, and it slides on accident, you're not leaving scratch marks like you would on one of the Tacoma dashboards. Like I mentioned in other RAV4 videos, the silver shape design here is in line with those sharp edges you see on the actual car. It brings your attention to the front. You have this nice silver line here that brings your attention to the screen, which, by the way, this is the upgraded 9-inch screen, which is a part of the Audio Plus package available on this car. This car has 2 of the 3 available packages. It has the weather package, which you could also get in the XLE, but this weather package has a couple more things. This weather package also gets you the seat memory. And this has the Audio Plus package, which with the Audio Plus package, not only do you get the bigger screen size, but you're also getting the JBL sound system with the subwoofer, which you wouldn't be able to get on the XLE. And the weather package on the RAV4 XLE would just get the heated seats, the heated steering wheel, the heated wipers that are rain sensing, and that. But with this car, that also includes the seat memory for 2 different drivers, which is great. If you did get an XLE Premium with the 3rd package, that's called the Advanced Technology Package. That would get you wireless phone charging here, the digital rear view mirror over here, which is great. That also has the auto dimming feature. And then you would get the parking sonar for the front and back that would beep at you a little faster as you get closer to things on either side of the car. But back to the interior. If you've never seen a RAV4 before, it has that simple, classic, utilitarian Toyota, gonna last forever design. That rubberized rib finish that I wish was here. Oh, never mind, look. We have it here. See, I've been with Toyota a while, but I learn and notice things every day. We're getting that in the front. So what I was gonna say was, I wish it was on the handle because it's on here. We don't have that rubberized rib finish on the back doors, but we have them in the front, which is nice, and they match nice. That gives you the most tactile feel, 1 degree per click, where I can synchronize it and I can control the whole car from here, which is awesome. I could have winter gloves on or work gloves and use this, it's great. I also like how I'm not using the climate control on the screen, because say I have my screen turned off, or if the screen takes a couple seconds to load because it's freezing cold out and the car is 10 years old, I don't need to wait to access my climate control. So Toyota, thank you for giving us manual buttons for our climate control. Guys, down below, let me know, do you prefer actual buttons for your climate control, or do you like everything on the screen? Would you be okay if this was a giant tablet like the Prius Prime with all the advanced technology, or do you prefer a separation? I honestly like the separation. Down here to the shifter, we have that same brush chrome look here, as well as on these bezels. The only actual shiny chrome that we have is around the push button starter and the emblem. which is cool because at nighttime, which even though that lights up, that'll catch the light so that I never really miss where that is. It increases the chance that you see it, which is great. And a little bit of a more of a shine here, but that's not a big deal. It's not like a true mirror, but it adds a little bit of a pop. I think the design is great, but Toyota, thank you for not doing a shiny chrome here and here, because we already know if you've been in one of the Chevys that has that, Chevy likes to do a lot of chrome. I'm not a fan, it just blinds me. I have plenty of leg space. It is a manual seat for the passenger. If I'm up a little bit more, that introduces a little bit more room for the back. But at 5'10", I mean, I could fit into pretty much any Toyota car very comfortably and operate it. If you're over 6 foot, just put the seat back, you can recline, and you still got plenty of space for your back passengers. Onto the seat here, similar stitching style, nice and plush. I'm very comfortable in the passenger seat. And my arm is very comfortable on this. That's a nice soft material, a little bit softer than on your base model RAV to me. With a good center storage with 2 USB-Cs again. So we moved all to USB-C and a carpet on the bottom. About halfway to the elbow. Let's move to the driver's seat, go over some of this stuff here and what we think, and then take this for a short drive. And the moment you've been waiting for, here's what it looks like getting into your 2022 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid XLE Premium. Which, by the way, not only are the fog lights standard, the moonroof is standard as well, and the electronic hatchback is standard, which you would have to upgrade to get on the XLE. This doesn't come in blue. That's just a protective film here that comes from the factory that we like to let our clients take off, like when they get a new piece of jewelry like a watch or a phone, they like to pull the plastics off. Keeps everything scratch free. And here's a cool feature. The car turned itself off because I've had it running while doing the video. So if you leave the car on for a certain amount of time, it will turn off. I really enjoy having auto down and auto up windows all around on these cars because with a hard click on all four, they go down hands-free. If you want them up, you hard click them and they go up hands-free. And then here's our seat memory. Here's eye level. The first thing a lot of people notice about this car is the screen. And with the 9-inch screen, I'd say it's a great size. I wouldn't call it big. It's a great size. The 7-inch screen is standard, but you get the upgrade to the 9-inch when you get the Audio Plus package. When your seat is at the right height for the car, your eye level would be in the center of your windshield. Here I am. And when your eyes are at the center of the windshield, that screen melts away and fades into the dash. If my eye level was here, which is actually my chin level, I'm sitting too low and the screen is actually protruding and blocking my vision. So just keep that in mind because a lot of people mention when they upgrade to a new Toyota, oh, the screen, it's just popping in my face. Raise your seat up a little bit and that screen is in pretty much the same spot it would be if it was integrated into the dash. But the benefit is you don't have a dashboard that's super high up, which increases your visibility when you're looking over. Small details. Some people like to say they just slapped it on, and I kind of get what you might mean, but in a way, no, because they're adding the space here while keeping things high. Because you'll notice everything raised up in height. The reason they did this is because they want there to be less eye travel. You know, the screen on the last generation used to be here, and the climate used to be here, another 1/2 inch to 1 inch down, and that eye travel that you do between operation and driving, every millimeter counts, so that your brain can integrate the information so you can react. So that's why we're bringing things up. But we can't have a dash line here because look what that does to our visibility and the amount of material that we waste producing it. So those are just a couple details for the people that care. Small thing again, I love the shifter. I have a little button here. So with an overhand grip, which fits the shape of the hand perfectly, I can confidently shift it down into drive. And what's great is there's nowhere past drive. So without looking, I can just go all the way down to drive it, all the way up to park it. It doesn't have that Toyota weird 7-shape thing that my Tacoma has and some of the older Toyotas. It's just down or up. If I want to control the gears, or with the eCVT simulated gears, I would go down and over to go through the gears like this. But A+ for the driving and the shifter. I'm not a fan of turn or push button shifters. I like that actual feel. I want to just look up, know where I'm going, and the great part is, in case I wonder, it tells me right in the bottom of the screen that I'm in drive or park. And speaking of shifting, when you put your RAV4 in reverse, this one has different rear view camera options. So I can do more of like a peripheral view, which is slightly distorted, but I can see more to the side, or the regular, and I can change the lines like this. That's called Toyota's dynamic backup camera. When you put in park, after a couple seconds, the parking brake button will light up in red. That means that the car parked itself with the parking brake. So that's cool, because when I take my foot off the brake, it's not going to roll or do that little thing it does when a lot of automatic transmission cars, you put in park, it kind of bounces a little bit. Just put it in the park, wait a second, take your foot off the brake, doesn't even roll. Another thing you'll enjoy is the leather-wrapped steering wheel. It's not super fat. It's a little less fat than the Camry, but I do like that fat feel of the Camrys. But this is one of the last things they do when they manufacture these cars, and they do a great job on every single one, doing it by hand. Feels great. There's that non-shiny chrome look here, which really lets the emblem shine and be the star of the show. Full controls on the steering wheel are on the front, not the back. I enjoy things in the front. They all light up a nice light blue, like all of Toyota's buttons, very easy on the eyes. There's no guesswork. You know, Toyota doesn't want to risk you actually, I mean, I can't imagine people doing this, but Toyota doesn't want to risk you looking around to see which one was the right button while driving. They're going to give it all to you here and all lighting up, so there's no guesswork. They don't want you turning on your light to try and see what it is. It all lights up, which is great. And it's an easy reader for the speedometer with a multi-information display in the middle, which gives you more information about the car. And on the main infotainment screen, I can see different information about the hybrid system, for example, showing me that the engine decided to turn on and recharge the battery, which, by the way, that's what hybrids do. They recharge the battery on their own. If you don't have a prime, it recharges itself. If you have a prime, it recharges itself, and you can plug it in. I can even change the color theme. But I will save all of these advanced features for the tutorial video, which make sure you check out. I'll have included in the description down below or in the comment section. But one other thing I like to mention in a lot of Toyota videos is you have a smart key. So you leave this in your pocket, you can lock the car by touching the door handle or unlock it by grabbing the door handle. And there's an anti-theft feature where you can turn this fob off so that it doesn't give out any signal that can be picked up with an RFID reader. If the battery ever dies on this, which does happen after a few years, like anything electronic, you can push this little lever. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Nope, hold on. There you go. You push that little lever down and you can slide the key out. You can get right inside the driver's door and you hold your dead key right up to this and it'll start right up when you push the brake and the push start button. So just a fun thing I like to make sure everybody knows, because I'd hate to hear people that think they're stranded out there when they're not, because even a dead smart key works, which I have a video on you can see. But yeah, that's the interior of our RAV4. Let's take it for a quick spin and wrap up the video. Alright, so like I mentioned, a compliment that the RAV4 gets pretty much from everybody is the visibility. And also, like I mentioned, a hybrid car, specifically hybrid Toyota, the word hybrid means two things coming together, kind of like a blend between the two. So It's a blend between a gasoline RAV4 and a all-electric RAV4 car. So you get the best of both. You get that efficiency of keeping things at speed on the highway that a gasoline car gives you, but you get that torque and efficiency and fuel economy of the electric car. And what's cool about these cars is the car decides when it needs to have the engine on and when it needs to have the engine off. There's nothing you need to do to change that. You can manipulate it a little bit with this button here. You have a couple different drive modes, or you can make it favor to keep the engine off. But I'm in eco mode now just to conserve on the fuel. We'll take it down the road and we'll talk about the way it feels now, after Mr. Ninja goes by. So being that it's a TNGA frame, which is Toyota New Global Architecture, it has a lower center of gravity, very good responsiveness, it takes the turns very well, and you have the added safety, so they're made to perform even better in the event of a crash. The cabin noise is low. I wouldn't say it's extremely minimal like on a Platinum Highlander, but since the engine is not on as often, which you can see from the diagram, when the red arrows go away, the engine's off. So since we don't have the engine on as often, there really is not a lot of engine noise compared to driving the gas model. Since I have the AC cranking, it still decides to put the engine on a little more often because it wants to power the AC system. With the ground clearance that the RAV4 offers, it's easy to enter a little bit of a steep driveway without having to come to a complete stop. And on bumpy areas like this driveway that has some potholes and some gravel, it maneuvers and negotiates all of those different terrain changes very nicely, especially for a consumer car. And since the XLE Premium doesn't have true low-profile tires like an XSE Camry, it's going to use the tires as well to handle those bumps. In eco mode, the acceleration is okay. In normal mode, I would rate the acceleration average. In sport mode, the acceleration is good. Bear in mind, it's not a racing SUV, but it's a little torquey in sport mode, which is nice. And you can do that on the fly. You turn it to the sport mode, lights up red, and it'll pull. Of course, if you go with the Prime, with the upgraded battery and hybrid system, it has even more power at a price. You're going to be in the 50s on the Prime, well, 40s to 50s, depending on where you get it. But with this, I'm just 39 and change before taxes, missing the advanced technology package. So if you have to get the advanced technology package, you're going to break that 40 mark. But it's a great value because on the XLEs for hybrid, you're already in the mid to high 30s depending on how you package it anyway. So yeah, I'd rate the drive great. I took a 19 RAV4 Hybrid XLE on a trip from the rental fleet to see family. It was a blast. It got great gas mileage. We averaged 42, doing a lot of highway as well. And we drove through a tropical storm and I didn't even get nervous once. But I can't drive it really far. Gas prices are up. We want to keep the miles down low. We want to preserve these cars. We want to give people a great brand new crispy clean car to drive and buy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you driven the XLE Premium? Have you seen one? Do you own one? I'd like to give a shout out to XLE Premium owners. I think this is a better option than the XLE. I think it's worth a couple more dollars, but I want to know your opinion. So share your opinion down below. And be sure to check out the tutorial video where I go over all the technology. Thanks again for watching, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I like to make valuable content for people new to Toyota and people that have been with Toyota for a while. Peace.